Alrighty, it is Sunday, which means there are some twists in the kingdom. Here we have Include Sale, and each player starts with 5 coffers. So sale is cards cost 1 less. Oh man, so everything costs 1 less, and also you have 5 bonus money to spend at the start of the game. I don't know what to make of that. I think this kingdom would be pretty straightforward if you subtracted out those twists. You got Inventor for gains, you got some plus buy, you make everything cost very cheap, and then you buy a bunch of provinces all at once. You got Native Village as a village. You could set aside a bunch of stuff in Native Village to get to an Inventor Megaturn. There's also some amount of draw with Exorcist because it gives you access to the spirits. Will-O-Wisp would be a pretty good draw card in a kingdom where everything is getting reduced down to 0 cost. Imp is also a laboratory. Way of the Pig actually is some modest synergy with the Imp. It means you could put cards in your deck like Herbalist that you otherwise wouldn't really want to have in your deck as distinct targets for Imp, and then just play them as Way of the Pig instead of the normal effect. All that seems clear. But something like this just makes me suspicious that there might be some degenerate rush that beats out the normal engine. Actually, in more ways than one. One thing to note is duchies cost 4. So like you could just take Inventor and bum rush the duchies. Alternatively, provinces cost 7. You have $1 million money to start with. What if you just click Enclave once or twice? Or even just gold once or twice and just start buying provinces at 7? Wouldn't be too surprised if buying provinces early as like turn 5 could be a real threat here, just given how quickly things get going. What do I think about this kingdom? I don't really know. I'm going to stick to a more standard game plan and just open Exorcist plus Inventor. I wouldn't be surprised if the bot does something silly here and it works out. Yes, I think I want Exorcist to trash the estates into Will-O-Wisps, and then Inventor hopefully picks up some ropes to help me deal with the coppers. And the plan is mostly Inventor plus Native Village. We'll see how that goes. One more rope. Alright, another Inventor, and I think Native Village and a rope. Can I draw my Exorcist, please? Alright, the bot bought Enclave already, turn 5. We'll see what it has in store. Bot really likes its ropes. Rope pile is already empty. This matters a bit. I was trying to figure out whether it matters whether I play Inventor before Will-O-Wisp, and I was thinking that only affects 3 cost cards. I don't have any silvers. But actually, most of these cards cost 3 because of sale. So if I invent something first to then play this, hey, look at that, I drew an Inventor. This poor Exorcist, there are still 2 estates left in my deck, and I need them to die. I think I'd rather play both ropes than trash a rope into an Imp. It's not entirely clear. Alright, bot has a second Inventor. I don't think it has any villages. Province and 2 native villages. And now it does. Okay. Where am I going from here? Feels like the main thing I need right now is just to get a bit thinner, a bit faster. My Exorcist bottom decking and then missing a junk card was not ideal. Problem is, the cards I want now are Inventor and Native Village, but those piles are low and I'm behind on points, and so if I touch those, I think I'm in trouble. Uh, do I just have to give up on my hopes and dreams and take a province here? I'm scared of piles. I want to buy a province. Alright, we got the native village and we're just pigging it. Pot takes another duchy. Okay. It's always sad trashing an estate with rope and an exorcist game. What do I have set aside? Copper and inventor, okay. Take another province. This is an unsatisfying direction for this kingdom to have taken. Yeah, looks like the bot plans to just pile up the duchies. Can't say that's wrong. Whoo, that's a scary sight. Let's see if I can do anything about it. Yeah, it's too late for this exorcist to pay off. I'm either winning this turn or I'm losing the game. Let's find out which. And a duchy. Now this wisp can draw basically anything. Pig the nomads. Can't play all these inventors. Is this a win? This sure doesn't look like a win. This looks like a loss. Well, let's see. I gotta keep in mind, provinces are suspiciously cheap here. I need 2 provinces and an estate to win. So surely I have to buy both provinces, the inventors can't gain them. So I have to gain 1 estate, and then if I gain a nomads, I need to have 8 money, and I just don't have 8 money. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a loss. I would be surprised, pleasantly surprised, but surprised nonetheless if the bot cannot do 2 inventors next turn. Hard bot? Surely that was enough money for 2 inventors. Am I missing something? Maybe it wasn't? I guess it wasn't, right? This is 5 money. So it was 1 coin short. Okay, I'll get another lease on life. Can I do anything about it? Not clear. I think I'm all in on winning this turn. There's no way the bot misses 2 estates, right? Okay, is this a win? Somehow I doubt it again. Province and so close. Yeah, nope. Alrighty, so after a nice 100% month, I managed to lose the first game of the new month. Streak over. It was nice while it lasted. Let's try that again. Okay, so the draws didn't shake out great for me. I only managed to cash 1 estate with the exorcist that entire game, and that's just tragic. I was kind of counting on those wisps to be my main draw. I'm still not sure that trying to build the normal looking engine is correct in this kingdom. I could certainly believe that rushing ropes and then duchies is better than what I did. I'm going to give it one more shot, just because I like the exorcist idea more. I want to believe. And so we're gonna run this back and see if better draws fix the problem. Maybe I just open rope directly. I remember getting not quite thin enough. I think maybe fewer ropes taken sooner will be better than the early inventor. Let's put that hypothesis to the test. Obviously I'd rather see the rope turn 3, but this draw is overall pretty fine. I think after this I'm going to take some inventors maybe. Alright, Inventor and 2 native villages. I noticed the bot is going for its rope plan again. Set aside a copper. Another native village and another native village. What you doing, bot? So I recall the bot got some number of native villages last time, but I think only ever played them as Way of the Pig. Certainly, at least for the most part. So I think its plan is more like play 1 inventor per turn, and then just buy out all the duchies and empty rope duchy and whatever else. Goodbye, native village. I don't mind setting aside a bunch of stuff. No, not my exorcist! These estates just weren't meant to be trashed. But setting aside a bunch of stuff just helps me when I pick it all up for a big mega turn. Okay, yeah. Piles are getting low. Suspiciously so. What you up to over there, bot? That doesn't look like enough to pick up. Well, I'm putting all that in my hand. I can immediately set one thing back aside. I can play an exorcist and trash an estate. Actually won't get a... Oh, that's sad. You don't actually get a Will-O-Wisp if you trash an estate with even 1 inventor in play, because estates cost 1. 1 inventor reduces them to 0. And then the 0 cost Will-O-Wisp is no longer a cheaper spirit. So picking up here would mean I would get a trash an estate, but it wouldn't come with a wisp. I get a rope in play. I think I'd rather set aside again. And how many of these things can the bot realistically take? It's gonna have a big hand and it has a bunch of ropes. I want more inventors, but I'm not sure I can justify lowering them any further. All the cards I want are too low to touch. Let's get started on duchies. Does that make any sense? Let's get duchy and a province. And buys. I at least have a points lead now, which makes it a little bit harder for the bot to pile. It'd have to do all of those and a province, which I don't think is happening here. Right, that's not a big turn. That's not a big turn at all. Can I beat that? I would need at minimum 8 gains for native village ropes and duchies. I guess technically 7 gains could do it if I could do native village ropes, inventors, and a province. I'll see if that's easier. Let's get cards. And a rope. Set aside. Can a duchy. Ha! I've drawn a duchy. Playing the inventors first paid off. Okay, now is this enough to win? Doesn't look like it, does it? It's just not enough gains. I have 3 buys and a gain. That's 4 things. That won't do. 1, 2, and a province. I'm just going to take a big points lead and see if the bot can outscore that. I think the bot gets duchies much easier than it gets provinces. So I'm hoping with one duchy left, it fizzles out, and then I just have to take duchy, rope, native village next turn. Which actually I have in hand. First inventor gains a rope, second inventor gains a duchy. Actually, I could do that in either order because duchy already costs 4. Yeah. Inventors gain rope and duchy in either order. Native village costs 0, and I buy that. Okay, so if I get another turn, I win. What you got, bot? Two provinces would tie. Well, 2 provinces and a rope and a native village would tie. That seems like a lot. Inventors are effectively 3 money for the purposes of buying provinces because you can gain a nomads, which is 2 money, and then also it reduces the cost of province by 1. But yeah, it looks like it's still pretty far off. Alrighty, set aside, pick up, native village, rope, nomads. Oh, I thought, for some reason I thought that was going to let me afford province. It absolutely was not. Alright, we'll just take a state then. That's the game. I'm not really sure that this counts as vindication for the engine. This didn't really come together in that much of a mega turn. I got a bunch of duchies and didn't even pile out. It just felt like I rushed the duchies a little bit differently than the bot did. I think this is the type of kingdom that Hardbot does particularly well at, where it's this kind of awkward middle ground between rudimentary big money and building a real engine. I think Hardbot's a little bit more willing than the average human to give up on its ideals of debt control and just take the immediate points and rush for a pile out. And this seems like a kingdom where that's viable. So I'm not surprised that Hardbot managed to take one. Do I think Hardbot's version of this strategy is better than mine? Quite possibly. I like Exorcist. It's a fun card. The Will-O-Wisps, they do draw a lot here. I think I still prefer this. I like this version of the opening over my first version of the opening with the earlier rope and fewer inventors. I think the first time I just didn't get thin quick enough. This time I do think these are states I just regained. I was mostly trashed here. So I think I'm going to stick with saying Exorcist rope seems like a good opening. Just 1 or 2 of these Will-O-Wisps, like it's a lab worth of draw and you're trashing something. So that seems worth it to me. But I'm not confident at all about the ideal strategy here.